Vampires have been a mainstay of the horror genre due to grisly legends and Bram Stoker's famous book Dracula, published in 1897. Vampires have been portrayed as everything from the ghoulish alien undead to the debonair, misunderstood romantic interest of countless bad books, movies, and TV shows. So we are going to open the coffin and drive a stake through the heart of some vampire weird on today's episode of 5 Weird Things. Welcome to the channel. Vampires, for some sort of unknown reason, have this romantic streak that people, especially women, desperately want to believe. I blame Anne Rice. They are now, and will always be, the creepy, ghoulish undead for me. What's your opinion? Agree with me down in the comments, or explain why you're wrong. Alright, let's get into it. First, the stuff we should all know. Vampires are mythical beings found in various cultures around the world, most notably in European folklore. They are typically described as undead creatures that feed on the blood of the living to sustain themselves. Vampires are often depicted as immortal, meaning they do not age and they can live forever unless killed by specific means, such as exposure to sunlight, a wooden stake through the heart, or decapitation. Vampires are commonly endowed with a range of supernatural abilities, including enhanced strength, speed, and senses. They may also have the ability to transform into bats, mist, or other creatures, and some can mesmerize or control the minds of their victims. Weird thing number 5. 3 of the most popular modern vampire movies. The Twilight saga. I'm throwing them all in together. 2008 to 2012. Loosely based on the best-selling novels of Stephanie Meyer, this film series follows the romance between a human teenager, Bella Swan, and a vampire, the brooding Edward Cullen, blending romance, drama, and supernatural events. Very loose connection to the books. They kind of departed from them and went for simple and pretty in the movies. The Underworld series, 2003 to 2016. This action horror franchise centers around the war between vampires and werewolves, focusing on the vampire death dealer Celine, played by the stunning Kate Beckinsale. The series is known for its dark aesthetic and intense action sequences. Actually, I really enjoyed the film. They didn't bring anything new to the genre, but the story and action was fast-paced and fun. Only Lovers Left Alive, 2013. Directed by Jim Jarmusch. Jarmusch? Close enough. This film portrays the love story between 2 centuries-old vampires, played by Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston. It explores themes of immortality, love, and existential feeling in a contemplated and visually striking manner. I'm not sure why, but I really went in wanting to hate this movie, but it proved itself to be kind of very slick, very stylish, and a moody character piece that doesn't shy away from asking good questions and prodding a lot of reflection on the characters and the setting. I did like it. Weird thing number 4. 4 classic vampire movies. Dracula, 1931. The classic. Starring Bela Lugosi as Count Dracula, this role typecast him for the rest of his career. This Universal Pictures film is one of the most iconic vampire movies, directed by Todd Browning. It set the standard for vampire portrayals in cinema and is renowned for its atmospheric Gothic style. Nosferatu, 1922. Directed by F.W. Murnau. This silent German expressionist film is an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Max Schreck's portrayal of Count Orlok is haunting and has become a lasting image of the vampire in popular culture. Interview with a Vampire, 1994. Based on Anne Rice's god-awful novel, this film features Trues as Lestat and Pitt as Louis, exploring themes of immortality, loneliness, and the vampire's moral dilemmas. Directed by Neil Jordan, it is notable for its lavish production and star-studded cast, and what a waste, in my opinion. The Lost Boys, 1987. Directed by Joel Schumacher, this amazing film combines horror with teen drama and comedy. It follows 2 brothers who move to a new town and discover it's plagued by a gang of vampires. Its stylish depiction of 1980s youth culture and memorable soundtrack have made it a cult classic. I love this film. I've seen it many times. It does not get old. Plus, Kiefer Sutherland as a vampire. You can't go wrong there. Weird thing number 3. Vampire origins. Now, the origins of vampire legend can be traced back to ancient civilizations, including the Mesopotamians, Hebrews, ancient Greeks, and Romans, who all had tales of demons or spirits that drank the blood of the living. In medieval Europe, vampire legends gained prominence. The fear of vampires often stemmed from a lack of understanding of disease and decomposition. Plague outbreaks and unexplained deaths were sometimes attributed to vampire activity. Eastern European cultures, particularly the Slavs, have rich vampire lore. The Slavic vampire, or vampire, was believed to be a revenant, a reanimated corpse that returned from the grave to harm the living. The spread of Christianity in Europe influenced vampire myths, incorporating religious elements such as the power of holy water, crucifixes, and the belief that vampires were damned souls. Historical figures like Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Dracula, and Elizabeth Bathory, known for their brutal acts, contributed to vampire legends. Their real-life actions inspired stories and legends of bloodthirsty beings, blending fact with fiction, and, in the retelling, only enhancing the vampire mythos. Weird thing number 2. 3 modern vampire killers. Richard Trenton Chase. Known as the Vampire of Sacramento, Richard Chase was an American serial killer who terrorized Sacramento, California in the late 1970s. Chase murdered 6 people within a span of a month. He engaged in cannibalism and drank his victims' blood, believing it prevent his own blood from turning into powder. Chase had severe mental health issues and delusions, no duh, including the belief that he needed to drink blood to stay alive. Rod Ferrell, the leader of a self-styled vampire cult. Rod Ferrell was a teenager when he committed his crimes in 1996. I remember seeing this in the papers. Ferrell and his accomplices brutally murdered a couple in Eustis, Florida. He claimed to be a 500-year-old vampire named Vasago. Ferrell was heavily influenced by vampire mythology and role-playing games, which blurred his sense of reality. It also gave role-playing games a really bad rap. I played Dungeons & Dragons all through my youth. I haven't killed anybody. Manuel Pardo, a former police officer turned serial killer. Manuel Pardo claimed to have killed 9 people in the late 1980s. Pardo targeted drug dealers, claiming he was doing society a favor. He referred to himself as a vampire and believed he was purging the world of evil. Pardo's fascination with vampires was part of his broader delusional belief system that justified his actions. And finally, weird thing number 1. Killing a vampire. Driving a wooden stake through a vampire's heart is one of the most well-known methods in movies, books. The type of wood varies by folklore, with some traditions specifying it has to be ash or hawthorn or oak. Now, the stake is believed to pin the vampire to the earth, preventing it from rising again. Kind of a metaphor. Sunlight. Exposing a vampire to sunlight is said to destroy them, as many legends hold that vampires are vulnerable to the sun's rays. Sunlight is thought to burn or disintegrate vampires, representing the triumph of light over darkness. Again, a metaphor. Decapitation. Removing a vampire's head is another common method to ensure they do not rise again. The thinking behind it is decapitation is believed to sever the connection between the vampire's body and its ability to reanimate. This seems like a metaphor too, but if driving a stake through their heart will kill them, if you remove the head and cut the connection to the heart, then it would at least have a little bit of logic behind it. Holy water and religious symbols. Sprinkling holy water on a vampire or using religious symbols like crosses and crucifixes can repel or harm them. The reasoning is these items are thought to represent purity and divine power, which counteract the evil nature of vampires. This had a lot to do with Catholicism as it spread through Europe. Now, fire. Burning a vampire's body is considered a surefire way, no pun there, to ensure its destruction. The reasoning? Fire is seen as a purifying force that leaves nothing behind, preventing any possibility of a vampire returning. Pretty much fire will destroy anything. Now, these methods are deeply rooted in various cultural, literary traditions, also in religious traditions, and their effectiveness varies within legend depending on the specific vampire lore that is being referenced. Well, that's it for today's episode. Now, I've never been a huge vampire fan, but I really enjoyed making this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please share the channel and any of the videos you've liked on your social media. Leave any opinions down in the comments, and if you are still watching, today's code word is Dracul. Put that down in the comments to get yourself a little undead karma. Take care, have a great day, and a safe night.